Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again, and today we'll be talking about one of my favorite things upcoming for the NASCAR Diecast collector. It is, yes, the Gen 7 Diecast. I'm so hyped. I cannot wait. So in today's video, we'll be talking about possibly the release date for these Diecasts, when you might be able to get them, and of course maybe some of the cool features we could see from these things. So obviously the first thing with these new Diecasts that everyone's going to be going crazy over is the brand new molds. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a Mustang, a Chevrolet Camaro, or the Toyota Camry. These things, yes, it's the same moniker, it's the same model of car. However, the shapes and designs are going to be drastically different, man. You know, something about these Gen 7 Ford Mustangs remind me so much of the Ford Tauruses, because they are the bubble nose, the bubble dome, everything is back with the Fords. I'm so excited for that. The Chevrolet Camaros, man, look. When you look at these cars, man, and they have the bigger rim styles, which is I think they're officially BBS rims, which if you don't know what that is, they're on pretty much every Need for Speed game, every Forza game. They're pretty much the stereotypical street racer wheels. Beautiful. I did not think it would look good on a stock car. It proved me wrong. Look, it looks great on a Chevrolet Camaro. It looks great on a Toyota Camry. Holy cow, man. I did not think those wheels are going to look good on a stock car. Holy cow, they look good. They look good. I usually like to put those style rims on Need for Speed like Pro Street or Underground 2 or whatever. So really, really cool stuff there. And it makes me wonder so much how they're going to incorporate this with the diecast molds, because as you've noticed, there's a lot of cars that have kind of gray or maybe even sort of a chrome style wheel to it. Will we see more teams run colored wheels similar to Penske or the old days of MWR? I would love to see that, and will we see that in the diecast itself? Now, for the 124 collector, obviously it's going to be drastically different. I'm not sure how much of the car is going to be still accessible. I believe the trunk, I believe the roof hatch and the hood is still going to be all working and whatnot. But what I'm really curious about is the interior and the actual chassis of these things. Because if you truly think about it, 124s, yeah, they're great collectible, but they're also a display piece to see and learn about the car. So if you're someone like me who wants to learn as much as possible about the Gen 7 car, getting one of these diecasts and opening up, you know, taking the shell off of it, and to look at the base of the car to see how the suspension and everything, it's going to help you when you watch the actual NASCAR races on television. Similar to how back in the early 2010s and the 2000s with the NASCAR on Fox program, they would have a cutaway car that Jeff Hammond would kind of talk to. Well, I feel like for the NASCAR collector, having a 124 you could kind of use for reference is going to get everyone up to speed with these new 124 diecasts. So I'm extremely hyped with that. Really reminiscent of 2013. It reminds me so much. Huge shout out to the old school diecast legends. Absolutely. OBB, Original Big Bright, and Race Day 2011, and all the diecast collectors and YouTubers that kind of started the whole diecast collecting niche on YouTube. And it reminds me so much of when they were collecting the 2011 and 2012 diecasts, and the 2013s were released. And I think the first one ever released was the Brad Keselowski 2013. Don't quote me on that. But I remember everyone they were, you know, rushing to get the diecast out, order the diecast first, review it first, because it was a brand new mold. It was the first mold since, of course, 2007 when the COTs came on board, you know, first generation car. So very exciting times. We have not seen a completely brand new generation of 164 Cup car since 2013, guys. There is so much hype about it. I'm so excited for it, guys. Another thing that really I'm really a fan of is the variety. So as you know, they've done like 1,000 tests, it seems, with the Gen 7 car. You know, they tested at Phoenix, they tested at Charlotte, Daytona. Well, some of those test cars are actually available for pre-order. Now, I think one of the Daniel Suarez ones got canceled, but they have another one. And I think it's the K1 Speed car. Whoa, it's beautiful. So I'm hoping we'll see some variety, maybe some test cars get released, because some of these test cars are actually legit paint schemes. Like, they look exactly like a normal Cup car will be. There is so much new in the sport right now, guys. It is unbelievable. They just announced that Floyd Mayweather is going to have a Cup team now. Then you have, you know, Trackhouse expanding to 2 cars. You got 2311 Racing expanded to 2 cars. I mean, it is insane. Rick Ware Racing, I think, is a Ford team now. It's just like, whoa! There is so much new in the sport right now. And it really makes me wonder, guys, does the trend of getting some of these smaller teams increase in terms of diecast? Because think about it. We got our first ever Rick Ware racing car in years for 2021. Think about all the obscure Xfinity cars we've gotten the last few years. Could we possibly continue to see Rick Ware racing cars produced? We could see more variety with the Gen 7 era. You know, it's always the what ifs. It's, you know, do we possibly get a David Reagan Daytona diecast? Could we possibly get another J.J. Yaley diecast produced? Possibly get some of these one-off driver diecasts? I have no clue, because if you notice with every generation of 164 scale car, you look at the Gen 5 era, you know, COTs, it was pretty much the top drivers and that's pretty much it. You really did not see a Tommy Baldwin Racing diecast get produced. Example, 2013 to 2021, we saw a lot of backmarker teams actually get produced in the Gen 6 era. So I would say Gen 6 had more of the backmarker teams produced than Gen 5. Could we even see that taken to another level? It would be amazing if we get 30 different unique numbers at least produced for 2022. And this is probably the one you've been waiting on, is when are we going to get Gen 7 diecast? Well, I checked the pre-orders and it says, as of the time of this video, June looks like it's going to be the earliest. So if you're really eager about getting one of these diecasts, let me tell you, when these things come in, they're going to sell like Kyle Larson diecasts, okay? So I would 1000% recommend pre-ordering your stuff. Get your stuff ready to go, because if some of these cars are not going to release until June, possibly, when they show up, they could be out for weeks. We don't know how the logistics are going to be. And of course, if you ever want to pre-order anything, you want to get free shipping, guys, you know what to do. Promo code down below. Use the code Diecastbuffet. Any orders $20 or more at Circle Diecast and Plan B sales, you'll get free shipping. I'm going to be ordering a lot of 2022 diecasts. Oh man, need some free shipping for that, because there's going to be a lot of diecasts. But there's two other scenarios on when we can get these diecasts released. Scenario number 2, I would say, is the Authentics line. You know, flashback to 2019 when we got the Ford Mustang mold. I remember the first one that got produced was the 2019 Ricky Stenhouse Jr. car, okay? They made a crap load of those. That car is still rock bottom price to this day. That was the first Ford Mustang mold, so a lot of people bought it and made customs with it. It's still out there. That was released early on with the Authentics line. Everyone went nuts for that diecast. So my point is that if the pre-orders are saying June, could we possibly see an Authentics release in late February this month, or possibly early to mid-March? Don't take my word for it, but I'll give you a little bit of example that might give you a little bit of hope. Think about it. Kyle Larson 164 diecasts were first released from 2021, first released at the August Daytona race. Think about this. The Gold Series edition of that car was not shipped out until early November. That's like, what, 3 full months between the air freighted, you know, the early release. They air freight it to the racetrack so they can get it sold early. But that's 3 months between the track release to the Gold Series release that you could get online. That is incredibly drastic of a time difference there. I mean, it's unbelievable. So my point is, we could realistically see these things released in March or possibly early April. And of course, you know, with the air freight, with these cars coming in, could we possibly see some at Fontana, Coda? I have no idea. Don't write home about it that we're going to see these cars early on, right? But I have a hunch. I have a feeling we're going to see these things in March. I really do. Don't quote me on it. Don't you know, go to a racetrack and expect it. But I just have a feeling, based on previous diecast releases, we're going to get an early shipment of these things in somehow, some way, because as soon as these things get to the racetrack, they're going to sell out. They are going to sell out like hotcakes, because everyone there is going to want to buy them, right? You're going to have cats who are going to be like, oh, they have them at the track. Could you go pick it up for me? So you're going to have people online paying their friends to go pick it up. So, I mean, they're going to sell it immediately. So you know they want to capitalize on that impulse sale, so to speak. So there's a huge opportunity for them there. I do honestly think we will see Gen 7 cars in, I would say, mid to early April. That is going to be my guess. Don't write home about it. Everything can change. But that's just based on previous diecast releases, which, I mean, if you look at the schedule, Fontana's in February, so unfortunately, if we're going to that one, it doesn't look like it's going to be there. You would think, really, the Daytona 500 would have them, but I would put it at a 0.3% chance of that happening, because that's 2 weeks away, and I haven't even seen a prototype mode of a real release. I will say, though, I have seen the 164 I guess you call it the bland prototype. It has no logos or nothing on it, but the actual diecast itself looks really cool. I'm excited, man. 124s, 164s, Gen 7 is here. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the moved up numbers. I'm a traditional stock car fan at heart. But with it being a new generation of car, it's a lot easier, you know, to kind of, I guess you could say, embrace, so to speak. You know, when I look at the moved up numbers on a Gen 6 car, it just, nah. But when I looked at it as a Gen 7 car, it's like a clean slate, right? It feels like it's a new era. You're not trying to necessarily change anything. You're just kind of just building upon that, so to speak. So I'm extremely excited, man, for these Gen 7 cars. I cannot wait. And of course, whenever those things do release, we'll try to get them reviewed on the channel. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the new NASCAR Diecast releases. We still got 2021 cars releasing. We still have a 2020 car releasing. February is going to be chock loaded for plenty of 164 releases. You're going to make sure you get your pre-order set. We got another Rick Ware Racing car coming out. Garrett Smithley 53 car. Don't miss it. People missed out on the JJ Yaley, and they are regretting it because once they're gone, guys, they're gone for good. Get it while you can. There's some Coil of Joy diecasts coming out too. Pre-order. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss out because this is the final Gen 6 cars ever going to get made. Let that set in. Let that set in. So, you want to look at the 2012 diecasts and how rare they gotten. Yeah, this is the final hurrah, so to speak, for the Gen 6 era. So get them diecasts while you can, and welcome the 2022 diecast season because it is almost here. The Clash is almost here. The Daytona 500 is almost here. A brand new diecast season. Oh, I'm so excited, man. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll end the video on this. When do you think the NASCAR Gen 7 164s will get released? I'm going to say mid-March, early April. Who knows? Who knows? Have a great one, everybody. Diecastbuffet, signing off.